Usually by part 3 of an anthology, they're poo-poo, you see. But let's see about Tales from the Hood 3.
Hey everybody, hope you all doing well today. This week's Take 2 review, as the intro says, is Tales from the Hood 3. And Tales from the Hood, the original one, was one of the better horror movies from the 90s and probably the best anthology that I can think of that was enjoyed across just all kinds of genres. It, and to a lesser extent, John Carpenter's Body Bags. But a few years back, they decided to try to catch lightning in a bottle again with Tales from the Hood 2. I liked it, but comparing it to the original, it was like a bad TV movie version of the original. Tales from the Hood 3, while it's not as good as the original, and it's hard with something like, especially an anthology movie, it's hard to best the first. The only anthology movie I know of that's at least equal to almost better than the first, at least in the horror genre, is Creepshow 2. And, you know, it's either right there or, you know, it's at least close to the first one. But usually, you know, you have very diminished returns. Like Creepshow 3, I don't know, but I have seen, and it's terrible. But Tales from the Hood 3 has 4 or 5 stories, and they're all linked together by Tony Todd, you know, the Candyman, and star of so many other horror movies. Him and this little girl that you assume is his daughter, he's walking her home or walking her somewhere to meet her mother. And I don't know why they aren't driving. Well, you kind of figure out by the end why they're not driving. But the little girl keeps telling him stories. She's like, I love stories. I want to tell you stories. And the stories are they're much better written than the part 2. And it's just much better. It's you know, it is a cheaper made movie, so yeah, some things are going to look a little funny, I guess you could say. I don't know exactly what word I want to use, but I think it's done pretty well. The only real thing I don't like about it is the Blu-ray has no features, like you can't even go to a chapter from the menu because there is no menu. You put it in, it starts playing, and that's it. I mean, you can skip chapters with your remote, but it would have been nice to at least see have a commentary and maybe a couple of little interviews. But besides that, it's a pretty decent little genre flick if you like the original. If you don't care for anthologies or the original, then I wouldn't bother with it. Anyways, we'll see y'all next week for something old.